In the early years of Signature, the school's future was anything but certain. Visionary and Signature School Board President Bob Cook, Principal Vicki Snyder, and a group of faculty spearheaded the efforts to advance the mission of a revolutionary secondary school program. It was anything but an easy battle.
Well, we started as a part-time school down the street at what's now Innovation Point. The idea was to offer more advanced classes and different classes that were not economically feasible to do at each of the individual high schools. We started in this school as a half-time for juniors and seniors who had met their requirements up to that time, their required classes.
I was the first group of freshmen to start at Signature, and I was there for a half day. Half day at Signature School, half day at Harrison, and we would bus back and forth.
The Indiana legislature passed enabling legislation for charter schools. And so the teachers and parents came to our little school board, which I was the president of, and said, let's be a charter school.
It was such an amazing time to be a part of that group of people who were really trying to build a school from scratch. So many ideas floating around, and the education plan that they ended up with really still is the template that guides us as we, continue to build school in the future.
After fighting tooth and nail for survival, Signature's charter was approved by the EVSC, and the landscape of educational pathways would never look the same. The fundamental tenets laid out in Signature's education plan 20 years ago have remained constant. Students with their signatures attend the school by choice, knowing that the educational opportunities are challenging and designed to meet the academic needs of motivated students. Faculty and staff are committed to helping students meet their educational goals and hold themselves accountable through external evaluation. The results of these assessments are published in an annual report.
We are a charter school, of course, chartered by the Evansville-Vanderbilt School Corporation, and with our charter, we have a complementary educational plan that really establishes some of the fundamental tenets that were established long ago and that we adhere to this day.
One of the reasons why I came to this school to teach from the collegiate level was that I wanted to be able to teach at a higher level. After interviewing with the principal, I found that they were going to incorporate the AP program and that they were going to try to become an IB school.
The holistic program that IB offers made it something that we were always interested in having be a part of our curriculum. Since the IB schools are all over the world, it truly is a international program.
I think these courses are really helping me for my future, especially hearing from past seniors that are now in college. They have talked a lot about how all the workload here has actually made college seem a bit easier than everyone else around them. So I'm looking forward to that, and I do believe that it's going to help me in the future.
As Signature has grown, there have been some changes along the way. The school has served a larger population of students. With the increased demand for the Signature excellence among families, commensurate growth in facilities was needed. In 2007, the Science Center opened.
Having the Science Center definitely enhanced our ability to deliver science education.
In 2015, Board President Bob Cook, continuing to shepherd the school to great heights, fostered Signature's partnership with the Southwest Indiana's Regional Cities team. This coalition's successful efforts garnered sufficient funding for expansion of the school with what would become the Robert L. Cook II Center for the Arts and Sciences. The expansion of the physical campus and the knowledge of the extraordinary secondary school opportunities that Signature has created have drawn families from all over the globe to choose Evansville as a place to live. Employers recognize the power of leveraging Signature School as they work to attract talent.
The economy is driven by the talent that we attract. And if we can attract talent and use the Signature School as yet another reason to move here, then it's a win-win for everybody.
It helps attract people to the community and to keep people here in the community that maybe otherwise wouldn't consider the community.
We were living in Louisville at the time, and when going into high school, we started touring different high schools to try to find the best one in the area. I came down to Shadow in Mr. Nelson and Mrs. Winchester's class, and I was immediately struck by the fact that the students at SIG were much happier and much more involved than any other students I'd ever seen at any other high school.
This is not just a school, it's an economic development recruiting tool. It's impressive to show or to tell the rankings of SIG School to people who aren't familiar with it. I can't tell you how many times I've been with a governor, a U.S. senator, or a congressman, and almost always with Bob Cook, where we're talking about the rankings and what it does and what this school means for our greater Evansville region.
My family and I were living in Hamburg, Germany before. When they told me that we'd be moving here, they also introduced Signature School to me. And it was very exciting to hear about such a great school that challenges its students academically.
We get calls, I would say weekly, from people literally all over the world. And we have had many people who have moved here, they tell us, because of the school.
I think the diversity of the Signature School really helps build the foundation for E is for Everyone. To walk down Main Street and watch the kids either coming and going between the buildings or going to or from lunch, the diversity just is so visible, and it makes me as a mayor feel really good about our efforts to market our region as a region that is for everyone. One of my great memories as mayor is watching the eclipse with the SIG students and Senator Todd Young.
In addition to the expansion of the physical campus, Signature's academic program has evolved with the incorporation of the International Baccalaureate and Advanced Placement capstone programs. All Signature students are expected to complete the requirements of both programs.
As soon as I learned enough about the IB program to understand how demanding it was, but at the same time how anybody could do it if they applied themselves to it, I thought, wow, this is something I want to be a part of.
We don't have any gates, we don't have any barriers in terms of taking advanced placement classes, taking IB classes, International Baccalaureate classes. All of our students take AP US History. You don't have to have a certain GPA to get in, you don't have to have a certain test score.
I was not going to be permitted to take honors level courses at my traditional public high school because my test scores were too low. But Signature provided me the opportunity, if I was willing to work hard, to enroll in those more challenging courses.
At Signature School, we wanted to make sure that we were operating an elite educational program without being elitist. Everyone can be an IB diploma candidate, and at our school, everyone is.
So we've seen Signature School students pick up trash with us. Early in the administration and before COVID, on the first Saturday of every month, we picked up trash somewhere in the city, and it was very common to have 6 students with us. They learned the importance of, part of your role as a citizen is to give back to the community.
There have been challenges as well. In 2020, the global pandemic hit, and Signature was faced with an interruption of the face-to-face model that it had followed so successfully. Through a joint effort of staff, faculty, board members, students, and parents, the school upheld its high standards.
One of the advantages of being a charter is that we're pretty flexible. So when things come up, we can respond quickly. In a matter of 2 weeks, we're able to go from totally in person to totally online throughout that March and April of 2020 when the pandemic first occurred.
When COVID first hit, it was a lot of confusion, and we had just started using Schoology, which is technology we use now pretty often. But we did a lot of Zoom meetings, which is nice to see all my friends' face and my teacher.
We had weekly meetings on Zoom to figure out what the best steps were, and we finished out the year without missing a day. So always building in some flexibility and working with our students.
But then it came time for graduation, and The governor says you couldn't have an assembly of more than, I can't remember, 200 people at one place. So I called the governor. I said, Governor, you have to let us do this graduation. You know, it'd probably be, I don't know, 1,000 people at the graduation. He says, okay, let me think about it. And he called back later and said, okay, you go ahead, you can have the graduation. So got special permission to have the graduation.
Through all of these challenges, Signature School students have continued to thrive academically, and the school has continued to receive national recognition for its accomplishments. Signature students continue to soar.
One of the proudest things about being a teacher at Signature School is that you walk into the building every day knowing that you are making sure that students are prepared to go wherever they want to go, and that there will be no barriers to where they might end up.
I worked very closely with my AP Government teacher, Mr. Moda, and he helped me become one of the 2 delegates out of the state of Indiana for the U.S. Senate Youth Program. So I would not have that opportunity and be able to go to Washington, D.C. for that experience without Mr. Moda, of course, the faculty and the support here at Signature School.
I'm attending WashU, and I really think it was because of the rigor that I had in my classes.
Last summer, I went to France as part of the IUHPFL program, and this experience, I believe, was made possible to me because of the teachers here at Signature School. I had been studying French for 3 years. The teachers here at Signature School, I think, generally changed my life.
They are continually pushing forward towards new horizons, and I feel that going to Yale and going into my career in neuroscience, I want to be like them. I want to push forward, not stagnate, and they've prepared me for everything that's coming forward.
So what has stayed the same these past 20 years? At heart, it's the students, teachers, and the Signature Way.
The culture at Signature is unique. It is unique because of the SIG Way. The SIG Way is basically a bunch of people coming together and agreeing to focus on learning. We all know it's going to be hard. The students are told that before they ever come here. The teachers figure that out right away. In order to hold the students to a higher bar, the teachers have to move to that higher bar also.
The culture at Signature School is definitely a unique culture that is hard to find in other schools. It's a culture that allows you to create friends and connections, as well as learning to the best you can in your atmosphere.
The teachers are caring and they want to see you succeed, but they're also going to challenge you.
SIG Way, I mean, part of it is the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, but you know, it goes beyond that. You have to be a hard worker.
You can't really procrastinate, so that's good preparation, especially for college when the courses are a lot harder.
There's a lot of freedom here with going out for lunch, being downtown, choosing where you get to eat, what classes you get to take, and a lot of that comes with responsibility that you have to make good choices and be civilized while you're making those choices.
I think the culture here at Signature School is very welcoming. Certainly, again, with open arms, everybody has different opinions, different ways they think. Everybody has a different way that we learn. And we, in a sense, embrace that thinking, and that each person is so unique, have their own passions and interests. And that kind of culture of a diversity is certainly something that's really fun to be a part of. Of course, the events that we throw, and just to be able to talk to people with different thoughts and perspectives. It's really fascinating.
We have a very diverse population. We speak, among our students, I think there are 22 different languages or dialects represented.
The results of this school are phenomenal, way beyond my expectations. And to see the awards and the recognitions that the school has achieved over the years has just been almost unbelievable, especially for such a small little town in the middle of the United States to be rated the #1 charter school and the 3rd best school in the U.S.
So what challenges remain for Signature?
One of the greatest challenges we face right now is funding. We get about $3,000 per student less than other area schools because we don't get capital projects funding. So we have to do outside fundraising really just to keep us in the black. We are hoping that we will have more equitable funding in the next few years. That would make a big difference to us. That's really our greatest challenge.
We still have to go out and raise funds every year to keep the school open. And so we're working with the legislature right now with a couple bills to equalize the funding for charter schools with traditional public schools.
With the school celebrating its 20th anniversary, how do students and faculty feel about being part of Signature School?
I really enjoy the community here. It's somewhere where I feel like I really belong. Or at least for me, it was easy to find someone I related to.
I feel like with this knowledge and abilities, I will be able to learn and express myself as much as I can throughout the next 20 years.
I'm not gonna say that people aren't gonna struggle when they come here, but I think what's very important to understand is you have a community that's here to support you through your academic career, and I think it's important to realize that you aren't going to fail because of the lack of resources that you have here.
I think these courses are giving me a massive head start on college and my future, because going into the medical field, it's lots of science classes, but here at SIG, I've been able to load up on them and take physics, biology, chemistry, and I know that those are going to be very useful to me.
You are surrounded by people that want to learn. And when you're surrounded by those kind of people, you can learn from them.
I always tell them, you're a Signature alum. You worked hard, you made it through. We have somebody working in the Department of Justice in Washington on Capitol Hill. We have police officers who are out there making a difference. So we have many physicians and people in the nurses in the allied health fields, all of them making a difference.
Students are excited about learning. Teachers are excited about teaching. Those are the atomic particles of who we are, and that has not changed one little bit.
There's an energy about the school that you feel immediately when you come in. I felt it the very first time I visited this school in 2007 as a parent, and I feel it every day still.
Signature School is laying the foundation for so much success for students. What we're seeing here is developing generations of change makers. Change makers who are going to go out and make a difference in the nonprofit world, in the corporate world, in faith communities, and their start was here on Main Street. It's powerful.
We're creating the type of global leader that our country and our world needs.